All right, let's talk about something every single business deals with. It's this constant tug of war, right? A battle between two massive forces. On one side, you've got that relentless pressure to grow, to get bigger. And on the other, you have the basic primal need to just survive. So today, we're going to break down how companies try to manage this balancing act.
Here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to lock down the most important rule of the game: grow or die. Then we'll explore the three main paths companies take to get bigger, something called intensive growth, then diversification, and finally, external growth. And to wrap it all up, we'll look at the tough, gritty choices companies have to make when survival is the only thing that matters.
Okay, Section 1, the big rule. It helps to think of a business as a living thing. It's born, it grows up, it matures. But here's the catch. Unlike a person, it can't just decide to retire and relax. In the business world, if you're standing still, you're actually moving backward.
So that really begs the question, right? Why? Why do businesses have to keep growing? I mean, if you're profitable and doing well, why can't you just stay that size and keep doing what you do best? What's this invisible force that's always pushing for more?
Well, the market is basically a product graveyard full of things that didn't adapt. And pagers? They're a classic tombstone in that graveyard. They were everywhere, and then, poof, cell phones came along and they became obsolete almost overnight. Any company that isn't growing or innovating is basically starting a countdown clock on its own products. It's simple. You adapt and grow, or you risk just fading away.
Okay, so if growth is mandatory, how the heck do you actually do it? Let's dive into path number 1, intensive growth. You can think of this as the work smarter, not harder strategy. It's not about inventing some crazy new thing. It's about getting more out of what you already have.
The key word here, and you really got to remember this, is existing. This whole strategy is about looking at what you've already got, your current products, your current customers, and just asking, how can we do more right here, right now? It's all about boosting sales without wandering off into some brand new unknown territory.
And this is where a super handy tool called the Ansoff Matrix comes in. It lays it all out for us. So, intensive growth plays in 3 of these boxes. First, there's market penetration. That's just selling more of your current stuff to your current customers. Think about a coffee shop pushing its iced coffee hard during a summer heat wave. Then you've got market development, which is taking your existing products to a brand new audience, maybe like a tech company finally selling its gadgets in a country it's never been in before. And last, there's product development, making new stuff for the customers you already have, like when your favorite appliance brand adds a smart screen to its fridge.
Now, this path isn't perfect. There's a definite trade-off. The good news, it's pretty stable, and you can usually fund it yourself with the money you're already making. You're just getting more efficient. The bad news? Man, it can be a slow grind. You're boxed in by your current market, and you might be totally missing out on some huge, game-changing opportunities happening somewhere else.
All right, let's shift gears. Our next path for growth is way more ambitious. This is where a company decides, you know what, we're going to change the entire game. Diversification isn't about digging deeper in the same spot. This is about planting seeds in completely new fields.
So why do this? Well, diversification is a 2-for-1 deal. First, you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. If one part of your business tanks, another one might be soaring, which keeps you stable. At the same time, it's a way to go after big money and new opportunities that you just can't find in your original business.
But diversification isn't just one thing. It comes in a few different flavors. You can team up with a competitor, take control of your supply chain, add products that are related to what you already do, or, and this is the wild one, jump into a business that has absolutely nothing to do with what you do now. Let's check out a couple of these in action.
First up, horizontal integration. This is when you basically buy or merge with your direct competition. Why would you do that? Simple. Fewer rivals, more power over the market, and you can become way more efficient. It's a strategic move to take a key player off the board by making them part of your team.
Then you've got vertical integration. Okay, picture this. You're a company that makes amazing fabric, but instead of just selling that fabric to other stores, you decide, hey, let's open our own shops. That move is called forward integration. You control everything from the factory to the customer, and you get to keep all the profit that a middleman would have taken.
Okay, on to our third growth path. And this one is all about speed. I mean, why spend years trying to build something from the ground up when you can just buy it? Welcome to the fast-paced world of external growth, which usually means mergers and acquisitions.
So what's a merger? It's basically when two companies look at each other and decide they'd be stronger together. They join forces, become one single, bigger organization, and the goal is dead simple. Get bigger, more efficient, and more powerful in the market, and do it way faster than you could on your own.
Now, whenever people talk about mergers, you're going to hear this one buzzword over and over: synergy. And all it really means is the idea that 1 + 1 can equal 3. It's this belief that by combining, the new, bigger company can achieve things that the two separate companies just couldn't pull off by themselves.
So how does this magic actually happen? Well, it's not really magic at all. It's pretty practical. For starters, you don't need 2 marketing departments or 2 HR teams, right? So you can cut costs. You can buy your supplies in massive bulk, which gets you better prices. You can instantly get your hands on some cool new technology. And let's be honest, when you're a bigger company, it's a lot easier to get banks to lend you money.
But let's get real for a second. Growth isn't always the story. Sometimes, despite all the best plans, things go wrong and a company starts to shrink. And when that happens, the whole game changes. It's not about expansion anymore. It's about pure, simple survival. And that brings us to our final section, the last resort strategies.
When a company is in trouble, there's a kind of playbook they follow, and the steps get more and more drastic. The first move is usually something called divestment, which is selling off a piece of the business. If things are still looking bad, they might try a spin-off, where they turn a division into its own separate company. And then there's the last resort, the nuclear option: liquidation.
Divestment, it's a pretty intense idea. It's like a strategic amputation. You cut off a limb to save the body. Chrysler is a perfect example from back in the 80s. They were on the brink of collapse, so they sold off parts of their business that were actually making money, like their tank division and their ACE unit. Why? To get a huge cash infusion and save the core car business. It had to be a tough call, but hey, it worked.
And that brings us to liquidation. This is it, the end of the road. This is what happens when a business is in such bad shape that nobody even wants to buy it. So you just turn off the lights, you shut it all down, sell everything, the desks, the computers, the patents, and use that cash to pay off as many debts as you can. It's a brutal choice, but sometimes it's the only way to stop throwing good money after bad.
So after all of that, it leaves us with this one big question to chew on. We've seen this insane drive for growth, and then this desperate fight for survival. So what is the real point of a business? Is it all about constantly expanding and conquering the world? Or is the true victory just being able to endure, to adapt, and to live to fight another day? Definitely something to think about.